I don't know who needs to hear this, but some people, they just love. Some people might be perceived as love bombers, when in reality, all they do is love. And especially people that don't know how to receive love are going to perceive that love as a love bomb. Because in their mind, how can that be real? How could it possibly be real or authentic? Because it's for them, right? What I'm getting here is that when somebody loves as intensely as you do, and you direct that love towards somebody that doesn't know how to receive it, they run, they get scared, they shut down. But in this particular circumstance, what I'm getting is that they didn't do anything with it at all. And love bombers, they'll usually move on pretty quick, don't they? That's something you don't do. And I'm also hearing I'm exactly as far away as you pushed me. So you might be perceived as a love bomber, but that doesn't make it true. How somebody else receives your energy is not your problem. Because you were authentic. You were loyal. You were committed. You were communicative. You tried. And they decided how much distance there was going to be in that relationship with how they responded to you. They decided that they wouldn't receive that love. And I think part of this test for both people was being able to release with love, was being able to say, no matter what happened between us, I love you. And that doesn't mean that it has to be anything. Unconditional love is the test a lot of the time. So, when it's time to move forward from a situation, you have to let them take their truth with them. And know that your truth is what's important to you. When you know in your heart of hearts that you did everything you could to close the gap with that other person, to let them know how you feel, how you felt. When you did everything in your power to try and communicate or convince them to just believe you, and they don't. When you are never responded to, what choice does that leave you other than to go back to the distance? When they won't commit, when they won't engage, when they won't communicate, when they won't reciprocate. But you're love bombing. But you're gaslighting. But you're the problem. And if this is for you, you're not angry. Because you've been down this road before a couple times. And embodying the frequency of love is everything. But we also have to look at our accountability and the role that we played in that situation. Because in their mind, maybe you send them a lot of intense emotions, and then you pull back, and then you go in again, and then you pull back, and then you go in again, and then you pull back. But they never reciprocated anything. They never clarified anything. They never gave you anything, which is why you keep pulling back. They don't see how their own actions contribute to the situation. They don't understand that all it would have taken was a conversation, or some reassurance, or some engagement at all. And when you dedicate a solid amount of time to one person and get nothing back from them, I'm talking like a year. I'm talking like a year of dedicated love for this person. And they give you nothing? Like nothing. You're giving them whiplash? That doesn't track. That doesn't clock for me. Because once again, they tell themselves the story that makes sense for them. They tell themselves the story where they did everything right, and you were the problem, which is a pattern here. Not that they did everything right and you were the problem. That's the story they tell themselves. That's the spin they put on their... That's the spin they put on it. When in reality, how many times are you going to try and run up that wall? How many times are you going to Naruto run at that wall with them standing at the top of it, never offering you a hand? Imagine there's a guy on a wall who could reach down a hand and help you get up there. You might be able to jump up and get that high enough to grab a hand and get up on the wall, but they don't want to let you in. It was never part of their plan to let you in. They just want to have feelings about what you didn't do for them. Or how you did too much. They never even considered that it was true. They jump right to gaslighting, love bombing, anything to invalidate the authenticity of your emotions that you just tried to show them for a long time. I'm out of time. But at the end of the day, if you're not in love, then it's time to move on. Remember, the test was always unconditional love.